day of the month of Elul, and we are in the second parak of Maseches Pesachim, and this is our 40th day of learning together with Amud Yomi. So a big shakach to everybody that is following along. We left off at the bottom of Daf Chav Aleph Amud Aleph. According to the Mishnah, the Mishnah told us that what are you allowed to sell to a nachri at what point in time? So the Mishnah told us, Kol machil for as long as you can be ma'achil, you can feed. And we said that that was the opinion of Rabbi Gamliel. That is between the 5th and 6th hour of the day. Ma'achil behema l'chayv l'ofus. You can feed, you cannot eat it yourself, but you can feed it to your behema chay and ofus ma'achil nachri, and you can still sell it to a nachri. Says the Gemara, as follows pshita. This is obvious. This is obvious. Why would you not be able to sell it to a nachri? It is not yet asur b'hana. Says the Gemara, la'afuk me'hai tana de tanya, to exclude. We are intentionally excluding the opinion of the Tana, the Tana that says, Beishamai tells us, Lo yimkar adam chametz lenachri. A person is not allowed to sell his chametz to a nachri, ela imkain, unless you until you know that it's going to be finished before Pesach. You have to make sure that it is completely finished before Pesach, because otherwise that would be some hana that you are getting from the fact that the nachri is eating the chametz that they bought from you before Pesach. Beis Hillel tells you, Kol shar shemutar le'achol, for as long as you're allowed to eat it, mutar limkar, you are allowed to sell it to a nachri. Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira tells us, kutach. V'chol minei kutach also limkar shloshim yom kedem Pesach. This is the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, seems to be in accordance with the opinion of Beis Shammai. Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira tells us that kutach was a kind of cheese dip, fermented cheese dip that had chametz in it. V'chol minei kutach, and any kind of thing that is like kutach, you are not allowed to sell to a nachri for the shloshim yom kedem Pesach, for the 30 days beforehand. Why? Because that is something that doesn't get finished quickly. It's a dip. It doesn't get finished quickly. Rashi tells us, yeah, shloshim desfir like Beis Shammai. It holds like Beis Shammai. And it's not finished quickly. It's a dip. It's a condiment. It's not something that's a food itself. It's not like bread that you're going to finish and then that's going to get moldy because it's fermented. It's going to be preserved. You don't eat it. You dip in it. So why exactly 30 days? Because it is 30 days before Pesach that you are obligated in the halachas of destroying Pesach, destroying chametz, getting rid of it. That is the shear that you are obligated to be concerned with the destruction of chametz, and because you are learning hilchos Pesach. Says the Gemara quoting from the Mishnah, "Umuta bahana." It is permissible bahana for that 5th hour of the day. Says the Gemara pshita. Obviously, it's muta bahana. So we say, no. You need this. What happens if you burnt it? You've already charred it before the zman of the isur. Kamash malan to the Rava, and this Tana is coming to tell us the opinion that Rava holds. The Amar Rava says that if you burnt it before the zman isur, so now it is not chametz yet. Mutabahana, it's mutabahana even much later on, meaning the charcoal, if you turn it into coal, it's not food anymore. Now it is mutar bahana thereafter. Avrazmane, but after its time, asur bahana. It would be asur bahana. That would be after the 6th hour of the day. It, of course, would be asur behana. And the Gemara asks the question, hold up a second, pshita, that's obvious too. No, not obvious. You need this. L'shas derabanan, because we are not just concerned about the shas midaraisa from midday, meaning from the end of the 6th hour of the day, the beginning of the 7th hour of the day, but also the shas derabanan that the Chacham instituted, that it is also asur bahana from an hour before, and that's why you have to burn your chametz at 11 a.m. on a 6 to 6 day, and not just at noon. The Amar of Gidl Amar Rav says, Rav Gidl the name of Rav, Rav Gidl, the Amar of Gidl Amar of Chia, Bar Yosef Amar of Yochanan. Rav Gidl Amar Rav, Amar of Chia says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, HaMekadesh Mishei Shas Amala. If a person was Mekadesh in Isha from the 6th hour of the day, meaning from 11 a.m., afilu b'chiti kur dai naisa, and we saw this din before, even with these wheat that comes from kudar naisa, which is very, very hard, doesn't easily become chametz. And kiddushin, we don't think that there's kiddushin there at all. Why? Because the chachamim already said that it's asur bahana. So the chachamim have the right to say that the thing that you were mekadesh an issue with, with this with this wheat, with this chametz. No, also bahana, it would be it's already also bahana midrabanan, and therefore the rabbanan can be mafkia the kiddushin minay, because they said that the thing that you are being mekadosh with doesn't belong to you. Okay, says the Mishnah, and you're not allowed to use it to heat up your oven in. Says the Gemara Pshita, obviously you're not allowed to heat up the oven. That's called hana. That's called benefiting from chametz. So we said, no, you need this in tzricha. It is absolutely necessary. Rabbi Yehuda, according to Rabbi Yehuda, the Amar, Rabbi Yehuda is of the opinion, the only way that you can get rid of your chametz is through burning it. Maybe I would have thought, since Rabbi Yehuda said that the mitzvah is to burn it, while you're burning it, you are allowed to get benefit from kamash malan. Maybe you'd be allowed to. Maybe you would think that would be a possibility. Meaning, since there's a chiyuv of burning it. Now that is part of the mitzvah. You're allowed to get hana from that fire because that's part of the mitzvah. No, once the zman isra has come, you are not allowed to. The svara is difficult on a number of levels because maybe you would also say that mitzvah that if it is a mitzvah, maybe that's not called hana. Maybe you're allowed to get hana. That's questions of that nature which the Rishonim Achronim deal with. Chizkiah says, how do you know that chametz on Pesach is also bahana? So that now we get into the roots of the matter. We've been saying that chametz is also on Pesach. We know that it's also to own. We spoke about that at the beginning of the parak. We obviously know that it's also to eat. That is mafurish in the pasuk. How do you know that chametz is also bahana? That's an interesting question. Says the Gemara as follows. Shenamar, the pasuk says as follows: Lo yachel chametz. You should not eat. Chametz should not be eaten. Chametz should not be eaten. So it says the Gemara, Lo yehi by heter achila. It means that there's literally no heter of eating. It doesn't say don't eat chametz. It says chametz shall not be eaten. It's in the passive tense, meaning that it shouldn't be consumed. The reason is since the Torah had told us chametz should not be consumed. It had not written lo yachel. If it wouldn't have said lo yachel, I would have thought isur achila mashma, meaning that it's an isur of eating. Isur no lo mashma, that's not included, but the isur no is not. Meaning it's possible would have told us lo seslu chametz, don't eat chametz. I would have said that the eating is implied, but benefiting is not. But once it says lo yachel, that it should not be consumed, so Rashi here says midikarina lo yachel, since it says in the passive tense, mashma lo yehi boy heter hamevi lidei shum achila. Don't have anything that would bring you to any kind of consumption. Ustam hanas lidei achilahim, and in general, enjoyment means that it's going to end up being eaten. Because the person pays for something that it would end up being consumed. This is a disagreement against Rabbi Abau. In this limit that Chizkiah says, disagrees with Rabbi Abau. Rabbi Abau says, Kol makom shenemar lo yachel, lo yiseichel, lo yiseichlu, echad isur achila, ve'echad isur hana. Anytime that you have any of these lashonos of lo yachel, lo yiseichel, lo yiseichlu, it means both an isur achila and an isur hana, meaning it's always going to have an isur hana. All things that you're not allowed to eat, you are not allowed to benefit from. Now, obviously, we do not pass them that way. We pass them like that way in some instances, and we'll see that limit in a couple of moments. But Rabbi Abba was of the opinion that every single Isser Achila is also an Isser Hana, which means that there's an Isser of eating Chaza. There's also an Isser of benefiting from Chaza. That's according to Rabbi Abba. This is against what Chizkiah is telling us, that the Isser Hana is only by Chametz. So it says Rabbi Abba, unless the Torah is going to tell you that there is a heter of hana, like the Torah does with regards to nevela. The Tanya was nevela. Nevela is an animal that dies without shchita. The Tanya, the Brisa says as follows: you are not allowed to eat any nevela. Lager, as the pasuk tells us, lager asher b'sharecha titnena va'ochla. To the ger that is in your shar, that's in your gate, titnena, you should give it va'achla, that he may eat. That he may eat. Now, it's important to point out the ger is not talking about a ger tzedek. It's not talking about a convert to Judaism. We are talking about a ger that is a ger tosher. He accepts upon himself the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, and he has resident alien status in Eretz Yisrael. Says the pasuk continuing, Machar l'Nachri, or you can sell it to a Nachri. Says the Brisa as follows: the Torah is telling me so far, all that I know is that you can give it to the ger toshav. You're allowed to hand it to him, b'matana, and you are allowed to sell it to a nachri. Leger b'mechira minayin. How do I know? How do I know that I can sell it to a ger? Torah doesn't say I can sell it to a ger. Talmud learned leger asher b'sharachat titnena oy machal nachri. You can give it to the ger that is in your shar, or you can sell it to the nachri. How do I know? Sorry, or you can give it to, or you can sell it. How do I know that I can sell it to a nachri? Meaning that I can give it to the nachri. Meaning the pasuk can be read with the pause in different places. Meaning you can take the fragment of the statement that says you can give it for eating purposes or sell it to a nachri. And for a ger, leger asher b'sharachat titnena v'achla oy machal. Meaning, and cut off the word lenachri there. Nimtzis oimer echad ger ve'echad nachri bein mechira bein menasin. It comes out that you can sell it or give it to both a nachri and to a ger. Divrei Reb Meir, this is the opinion of Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yehuda oimer, Rabbi Yehuda says no. Divarim ekich savam, that it is exactly as it says in the pasuk. Don't start chopping up the pasuk and telling me where new pauses are. Divarim ekich savam. It is exactly as it says. The ger has to be given. The ger has to. You can only give it to him. You can only give it to him. You have to sell it. You can't give it away. My time with Rabbi Yehuda. What is the rationale behind Rabbi Yehuda's insistence that the pasuk has to be read this way? So Isaac, that if you think the Amud Reb Meir, that it is like Reb Meir says, then the Torah would have said, the ger that is in your shar. And sell. What is the word oy doing there? Oy lamali. Why do you need the oy separating this? Shmamina, it must be that that the Torah is telling you very specifically. Otherwise, the word oy would not be there. The or wouldn't be there in between. It must be that it is exactly as the pasuk says. For Meir, according to Meir, oy lahaktim nesina deger l'chir l'nachri. Now, Meir is telling you that there is not a there's no issur in switching it around, but there is a preference. You're going to do this or that. There is a preference. What's the preference? The preference is to be makdim nesina leger, that you should give the nevela to the ger tzedek. If you can't give it to the ger tzedek, so mechir l'nachri is also a possibility. Rabbi Yehuda, according to Rabbi Yehuda, you don't need a pasuk to tell you that. Given the ger because the ger you are obligated to provide him with food, to keep him alive. Meaning you have a responsibility to the ger tzedek that lives, to the ger toshav that lives in Eretz Yisrael. You don't have a responsibility necessarily to keep the nachri alive. Random nachri that shows up in Eretz Yisrael. Now, there's no personal obligation on an individual to provide them with charity. But for the ger toshav, you absolutely are obligated to provide him with charity. You have to so you have to make sure that you keep him alive. You're not obligated to keep him around. So you don't need a pasuk for this. This is logical. This is a logical thing. Says the Gemara Bishlam Reb Meir. This makes good sense according to Reb Meir. Damar echad ger ve'echad nachri bein mechir bein nesina. For Reb Meir, that says that the nachri you can either sell to or give to, and a ger you can either sell to or give to. That you need a pasuk, the mission nevela b'hana, to tell you that the nevela is mutar b'hana. Kol isurim shebatayra asurim be'achila, asurim bein be'achila bein b'hana. Comes out that according to Reb Meir, all of the isurim in the Torah are also be'achila and b'hana. That's why the Torah has to specifically tell you that the ger has to be either given or sold to, and the nachri can be given or sold to. That it's mutar b'achila in all directions. And Rabbi Yehuda, according to Rabbi Yehuda, the Amr Dvarim Kich Savam, that the pasuk is read as it is supposed to be read. For him, how do you know with regards to all of the other isurim in the Torah, how do you know that all of them are asurim b'hana? Says the Gemara Nafgalei, he learns it out from the pasuk milat kelev tashlichon. I said that you have to throw it to the kelev. The kelev tashlichon. I say that's not talking about an avela. That is talking about a treifa. he learns it out of the din of mikelav tashlich and osai. Oisa atamashlich lekelev. That one you're allowed to throw to a dog. V'i atamashlich lekelev kol isurim shevatera. And you're not allowed to sell. You're not allowed to throw all the other isurim in the Torah to the kelev. And that's how he learns that all of the other isurim in the Torah are also b'hana, because only that you're allowed to throw to a kelev. And Pesachim is to be continued on Shabbos. And we'll have a make-up share on Motzei Shabbos as well. Everybody should have a beautiful Erev Shabbos, a beautiful Shabbos. We'll see you tomorrow or tomorrow night.